Hi, everybody. I forgot to do the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Are we keeping it all in though? I mean, like we should keep it in. We should keep it in just because. But it's not like you use the 1, 2, 3 anymore because of Craig.
Yeah, it's just there just in case.
I know.
Just in case. But yeah, where was I?
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, hi, everybody. PodQuest.
At the beginning.
Episode 598.
Yay.
Dude misses 1 week and can't even figure out what's going on in life anymore.
I mean, listen, I feel it.
It's been
This has been the longest fucking week.
Yeah, like the last 3 days have been just long.
January has been the longest year in my life.
Yeah,
Well,
right up there. But speaking of January, it's Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. I'm Chris. With me is Druten
hello.
and Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
And yeah, January has been a long month.
It has. It has. In both good and bad. But right now, I'm just tired of this cold and the snow. And we are not warming up, so the snow is not fucking melting.
Yeah, it's not supposed to warm up until next week.
Yeah, and we're off and on. Projections keep changing up and down to whether or not we're going to get more snow this weekend and over the course of the next week. I can't get out of my driveway. I mean, I can if I do work, but I don't want to fucking clean up ice at this point. Like, it's huge
on
chunks of
Sunday when it was
snow.
still snow.
Yeah.
Well, so the problem is, during the storm, I did do my walkway and I did my driveway apron once. I did my walkway twice and my driveway area once. And, while I was doing the driveway and getting ready to dig myself out, the street had not been plowed because Belmar does not pay people overtime on Sundays. So I was like, well, there's not really a big point in me to do this because once the plow comes, everything's going to get thrown back over here. So I'll wait to do this until the plow comes. And what I meant was I'll wait to do it today until the plow comes and then I'll do it again. The plow didn't come until Monday at noon.
That
And
sucks.
I had somebody parked right on the edge of either side of my apron. So all of the snow piled up pretty much in front of my driveway. And I was in the middle of working and stuff. So I'm like, I can't really go clean this up right now. And so now it's just frozen snow in front of my driveway, and it's huge chunks of it. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't have to go anywhere.
I mean, that's also the good thing, that you don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Erica and I both had on Tuesday and today, obviously, we both had to be out of the house, so we had to get it cleared out. And I had gone out on Sunday and done shoveling while it was still snowing, just to keep it reasonable.
Yeah.
And then once they were done plowing on Monday, we went out and dug out the driveway for the most part, which did suck because it was just a lot of compacted ice.
Yeah.
They also they didn't, and it's common in most towns, and Deptford's such a big town, they did a real shit job plowing all the side streets. So they basically just went down the middle. So I couldn't park on the street if I wanted to right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My street looks like a complete fucking mess right now. Did because they waited so long to plow, and they didn't even the plow wasn't all the way to the ground, which I get, but you're supposed to have rubber at the bottom of the ground so you can pick stuff up and not destroy the road. There were huge patches of snow that it was like permafrost basically. They just drove over it. And I'm like, the plows did a terrible job. And it feels like they haven't really done any salting or anything since then to help melt the snow at all. It's just bad. It's bad conditions, and probably this weekend I'm gonna have to do something about it so that if I do want to get out of that house or drive around, right now I wanted to go to the car show this weekend, but I can't get out of my driveway, and so I'm just gonna wait until next weekend and hope I can more easily and accessibly get out of my driveway.
Which, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, hopefully, but if we get more snow this weekend, it won't be.
The snow they're calling for is going to be light if we get it at all.
I know.
But yeah, it's the bitter cold temperatures that are really fucking it too, because just nothing is melting.
Yeah.
Even when the sun's out, just nothing is melting at all.
Yeah, it's ice cold. It's so friggin' cold, and it's been cold for like 2 weeks now. Ever since the raccoon, and I was walking Chase at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. It was even like even at like 7, it still was like ice cold. It's been so cold over here, and I hate it so much.
Yeah, I actually I shoveled out our backyard so that like there's like a bunch of spots for the dogs to actually go. Because like
Hmm.
Ben can't go on walks right now at all. Like there's literally no place for him to walk to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And a bunch of houses on my street just didn't shovel the sidewalks at all.
Hmm.
One of them, biggest fucking douchebags, didn't shovel the sidewalk at all. Cleared their driveway perfectly though, but literally just piled all the snow onto the sidewalk.
Well, isn't it? I thought it was. Well, no, it's not illegal to not shovel your walkway. But if somebody gets hurt on your walkway, you are liable for it. I think is what it is.
Yeah, and like to be fair, like our township does actually like they have ordinances that like you are supposed to shovel your
Yeah.
sidewalk, and like we shoveled most of ours. There's like that stretch right to the, I guess it'd be the left if you're facing the house.
Mhm.
That like there, there's like I don't know 10 feet that isn't shoveled, or not shoveled all the way. Like I shoveled it once when it was still snowing, and like that sucks, and I feel bad about that, but also I have a lot of sidewalk to shovel now, and
It's
once it became ice, our electric shovel is just fucking useless.
yeah. That's I have one of those snow throwers. Because I too have a lot of walkway to shovel. Because I have to go all the way down. I have a full 90 feet of walkway to shovel.
Yeah, we have
And
the front, so we have basically from the telephone pole to like the left of our house,
mhm.
around the corner to the neighbor's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. And so like I got the snow thrower. I love the thing. It works great. But like you can't get all the way down, but that's why like I get stronger salt, and once I do the snow thrower, I just throw down the salt on top of it and that'll melt it over.
Oh, see, the shovel thing that we have actually will go all the way down.
I mean, it can go all the way down, but like by the time I was shoveling, it was so packed down at the bottom that it couldn't get down there. Like probably if I had shoveled a bit with the regular shovel first and then used it, but I don't mind it. It's not too bad,
Yeah.
and it makes the job easier nonetheless. Even if I have to use a regular shovel, it makes the job easier because the regular shovel, I kind of want to just get. I don't know if they make them, but just like basically they should make just a push plow. Because once I use the snow thrower, all I have to do is just push it, and it'll just separate it enough so that it'll just be out of the way. But
Yeah.
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 But I mean, who knows? Next year this may be the last snow we get forever. So
I mean, it's the first good snow we've had in quite a while.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the first good snow, but I also like I generally say I want one good storm a year. This isn't a good storm because this is one of those storms that's everlasting for so long, and it's been so cold that nothing's melting. That like I want something like we had a good storm 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, something like that.
The one in December,
Before,
right?
yeah, just before Christmas. That was a good storm because it was cold and then it warmed up and things didn't stick around too long, and it was like 2-3 inches maybe, and it wasn't terrible. This is just too much. This is too much, and there's like people had to dig themselves out in a way on my street because there's no driveway parking, it's just street parking. They had to dig themselves out to where like they have to maneuver themselves back into the spot they dug out because like they still have piles of plowed snow right next to where their car was.
That's the streets like that are not fun to live on when it does this.
No. But anyway, besides weather,
Yeah. What else is on our agenda?
so we all should have watched Tron Ares, and then I finally finished Expedition 33. So we're going to talk about those two. Me and Cobb a couple weeks ago played two newer board games, or new board games to us, Reavers of Midgard and Horrified American Monsters. And then lastly, Cobb started watching a new anime series called To Be a Hero X.
Nope, there's
To Be
no A.
Hero X.
I've been
fixed
every time I say or Google it, I just instinctively want to add the A because it's what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But there's a reason it's called To Be Hero X. So
Yeah.
yeah. What did you guys think of Tron?
I thought it was solid. I thought it was an enjoyable movie with an interest, they make the joke about it, like they call him Pinocchio at one point, but yeah, it's like or they say he wants to be a real boy or something. But it's an interesting story that like it's trying to it's trying to I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to get with that thought there. That thought process. But like it was an interesting story about how crazy AI could become. And like the ideas behind what AI could be and how similar it can eventually get to being real, like legit feelings and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool, and I like the throwbacks that they had to the original movie, and just to the '80s in general. And I thought it was a good movie, an enjoyable movie overall.
Yeah, I had a good I had a good time with it. I was unfortunately the only chances I had to watch it were like during work, and the last few days have just been bad. So I had to keep pausing it and like coming back to it. So like while I watched it, I didn't really get to watch it consistently. So I feel like had work not been work this week, getting to sit down and like actually focus on it and not be interrupted constantly, I think I would have probably actually had a better time with it. But I thought it did some interesting stuff. I like visually, it was those movies are always cool looking, and I think like they did another good job with everything visually. Yeah, and I like that they found a reason to go into like the original grid.
Yeah,
like you knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, it's like, well,
I
maybe
mean,
they don't.
you didn't really know it was going to happen, and in Tron Legacy, which was the second one, like they never went into the original. Like that was like the original grid wasn't. That was I thought that was supposed to be the original grid. And not that like I don't know. It just
they did go into the original one in there. They just made it look much fancier because
yeah
that was
they
the
made
era.
they made it look like what the grids were in this one between the two different companies, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they did the throwback to the old grid with the bit, and like it was the actual original grid because like the same damage in the wall was there that was in the first one. I like all of the 3D printing mechanics that they used and how like even when everything came out, they still had like the little bars that you would see during some of the resin 3D printing. Like not bars, but like support bars. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When everything was put together. Yeah, it was they brought in a lot of interesting concepts to it, and I doubt it because the Tron movies never make that much money. Like they set it up for a sequel, and I hope
this movie flopped. They're not making another one anytime soon.
No.
But like it made like $140,000 out of like a over $200,000 budget, estimated budget.
Jeez. Like
Drew, what did you think?
As someone who's never seen any Tron movie, a lot of it was lost on me, so I was kind of bored a lot of the time.
Oh, see, I thought for some reason I thought you would have seen the first one, not necessarily Legacy.
Yeah, no, never seen it. It's one of those things that like I'm aware of, like I knew like the light cycles or whatever, but never saw it. So
the first one is probably the best one. Like,
go ahead.
No, it just like I said, it just like I feel like they did kind of enough to explain, you know, what you needed to know, but at the same time, I'm like all that beginning intro. I'm like, oh, cool. Here's quick snippets of stuff I know fuck all about, and I'm like, cool.
But I feel like now, obviously, this is coming from someone who's seen all the movies. I feel like you don't really need to have a lot of knowledge of the first two to really need to fully understand or grasp what was going on.
Probably not to grasp what's going on, but I think having, and even the sequel, I think you need even less. Like, I think like you can watch this one without having watched Tron Legacy, and not really miss a beat until maybe the end when they reference the characters from Tron Legacy.
Well, I mean, they reference the characters from Tron Legacy in the beginning too.
True, but like at the end when he basically says he's looking for them or going to look for them, whatever. Like that's the only time that part that really matters, because at the beginning, like they could just not mention them at all too. But like having like just like a general understanding about like what the first one was about and who kind of the key players were and all, definitely helps. This way you understand that Evan Peters' character is like the, I guess, grandson of the villain from the first movie.
I didn't even realize that, and I've seen the movies because like the first one, and this is like I've seen it, but it's been so long, and it's one of those it's a campy 80s movie that's hard for me to watch. Not saying that it's bad, not saying I hate it, but it's just like it does go very slow.
Yeah.
Like Tron is the name of the program that Jeff Bridges writes. That's where they get the name Tron.
You're wrong.
No, Tron is the name of the program that the other guy writes.
Yeah.
See? Like
Clue is Jeff Bridges' program.
And Clue is bad.
Yes. But Clue was like the construct that like was Jeff Bridges like in computer thing before he got sucked into it. Like there were basically two Jeff Bridges inside of inside of the grid. And then his business partner or former business partner, because he had like quit the company that they had worked for or whatever, had written the Tron, which was like the security app, and that actor played that role as well.
Yeah, and like I don't remember there truly really being an overworld pseudo bad guy. Like,
so it was mostly so Evan Peters' character. I want to say the last name's Dillinger, and that the last name is what made me realize they were related. In the first Tron, he is like the grandfather, I'm assuming, or father, is the CEO of I keep wanting to say Enron, and that's not the right
Encom.
And thank you, Encom. In the original Tron, and Jeff Bridges had been like a computer programmer who worked for them and developed like a game that was very popular. He didn't get the credit. The CEO took the credit for it, claimed it was his creation. And Jeff Bridges went on to just like run the arcade essentially and built his own little grid. And it's through all of that they managed to prove that the CEO was basically the bad guy and that he had stolen the code and all that stuff. And he got fired at the end of the movie, and Jeff Bridges got made the CEO, because that's how corporate America works.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime between Jeff Bridges, because Jeff Bridges comes out of the grid at the end of the original Tron.
Yeah.
Sometime between him coming out and becoming the CEO and Tron Legacy, he goes back into the grid and never comes out.
I think he gets stuck in there or something, because that's when, like, I think the main villain in Tron Legacy was Clue as well. And, like, that's where he, like, fully captures him. And you learn that Tron was, like, kind of rewritten to be a villain or something like that. Tron was a like corrupted code in Legacy. Yeah. So, but like, I don't think for this movie, outside of the exposition at the beginning where they're saying like, oh, Jeff Bridges made this thing called the Grid, and became CEO and blah blah blah. Like, as long as you know, like, oh, the Grid is just a digital framework, basically. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah.
So like, oh, stop. So like as I was saying, like, my point is like, I don't think you need to have seen the first two to fully understand this one.
I just think the first one helps more than the second one does.
Yes, it helps, but it's like, it's not necessary. Like,
sure.
Because like, and that's the point of some of these movies that are sequels 10, 20, 30 years apart is like, okay, we're making this so that people who've seen the previous ones be like, okay, this connects and I understand it. But you also got to sell it on people who haven't seen them, because not a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, this is a third one, I got to see the first two.
Yeah, and at least for like this one, you know, it had been 43, 44 years, something like that, since the first one came out. At least 15 since Legacy. I forget if Legacy was 2010 or 2008.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ares just came out this past year.
Yeah.
Like big enough gaps in there that like them doing that exposition dump at the beginning does kind of set the stage for a lot of things. Had they not done that, there's a bunch of beats in the movie that don't make sense without prior knowledge, like the whole, oh, we're going to go to the arcade from the original one to get you back into the grid so that you can find a copy of this special code we're looking for that a dude thought to make in the 80s.
Well, I mean, so like, and that was, the arcade was how he got out of the grid. It's not how they got into the grid.
Right.
He got into the grid at the
Yeah.
Encom Tower based on a like museum display of what Jeff Bridges'
Right,
character
yeah.
used to
And
be
Yeah, Jeff Bridges sent him back into the real world from the arcade endpoint
from
in
the
the grid.
arcade, which is a nod to Legacy, not to the original Tron, I believe.
The original
Because-
Tron, he gets into the grid from his arcade too.
Was he in the arcade? Okay, because I
I'm
know he
almost
was in. I guess
positive.
the arcade's in all three. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I've seen the original.
In the original one, his job is like he owns and runs that arcade in the original. He left the corporate company because he got basically stolen from, if I'm remembering correctly. But I know like that is why the arcade was an important point in the sequel in Legacy 2, because it was part of the original movie.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like I feel like some of the arcade thing was more of like just a nod Easter egg for people, and like maybe to be like, well, for anyone who hasn't seen this, okay, maybe I'm interested to understand what this arcade is about and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna be 100% honest. The thing I hated the most about this movie was the soundtrack. I personally
like most about the movie.
I do not like Nine Inch Nails. So any of the Nine Inch Nails shit, I hated it. I was like, this is just uncomfortable. I find Nine Inch Nails music kind of uncomfortable to listen to. I can't explain it. It's just, I don't like it. So anytime it was like something that's like something Nine Inch Nails inspired, I just like, I don't like it. Like when it was any of the, like the references to like 80s songs, like 80s songs, like what was it that he was talking about while they were driving? What band?
The Depeche Mode song.
Depeche Mode. Like I was fine with that. It was just the Nine Inch Nails shit. I hated it. But
You should try liking better music.
I don't like Nine Inch Nails. I just don't like their sound. I can't get into them. Like, and it sounded like they were trying too much to be Daft Punk at times as well.
See, I never had that problem.
But yeah, I mean, for a movie that was 15 years, 15 years, because it was 2010 that Legacy came out. For a movie 15 years since its last one, and what'd you say, 40 years or some shit like that? 30 years since the one before that? 40 years, yeah. It's a solid movie. It's an enjoyable movie. It sucks we're not getting another one, because like they did leave it pretty open. Maybe in 15 years we'll get another one, and somehow Jared Leto doesn't, or well, I mean, not somehow.
He'll still
Jared
look the
Leto will
same.
age because he is a human. Like you saw him bleeding at the end. Like he is real. He is not just a machine.
Sorry, Jared Leto hasn't aged since 2005.
When did American Psycho come out?
2000.
Because I could not recognize him in 2000.
Yeah, so between 1998 and 2005, Jared Leto aged, and then he just kind of stopped around 2005.
Yeah.
Also, like once he started like growing like the beard, he looks like a little different than he does without it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like maybe in 15 years we'll get another one. Cobb, maybe you know, but like the villain or Dillinger at the end during the credits scene, he started to have an armor that looked very familiar to me. Like it was a very quick thing, and like it kind of like gave me like Galactus vibes, and I feel like I've seen it before.
There was
Honestly,
a credit scene?
There was 30 seconds into the credits, there was a scene.
Oh, dude, I actually missed that. I turned it off as soon as the credits rolled.
The same.
There was you always gotta watch the credits for every freaking movie, guys. For every new movie, you at least gotta watch the credits or look up. But
I couldn't shut this movie off faster.
Okay, let me get. You are a content creator. You're watching this movie for content. You need to find out if there's a credit scene so you can discuss the credit scene.
I don't.
Yes, you do, or otherwise there's no point to do this. This is a content creation thing. Part of it is discussing the end credit scene. So before turning the movie off, you need to look up, does this movie have an end credit scene?
I'm gonna be honest. It has been so long since I watched a movie with an end credit scene. I forgot that was a thing.
And it was literally 30 seconds into the credits before I even stopped looking up, before I even finished typing, is there a credit scene to this movie? The credit scene had started.
Yeah, I finished the movie, and like as the credits started, I turned it off because I've had a bad time of work lately. Not a bad time. It's just been very busy. But dude, I legitimately forgot credits scenes were a thing.
Yeah,
So
I literally just didn't even consider it.
Actually, did Captain America have one? Because I'm pretty sure I walked out of that
Yes.
before.
Yeah. Did you see Liv Tyler?
No.
Yep. Then that was the credit scene.
Whoops.
Liv Tyler walked into Raft and went to go talk to what's his name? Her dad.
Whoops. Yeah, I stopped watching all those Marvel movies, which were like the main culprits, and I kind of forgot that, credit scenes were a thing.
Especially if it's Disney. You gotta look up to see if there's a credit scene.
I also feel like for the most part, like early MCU stuff, the credit scenes mattered. In the last 8 years, I can't think of a movie where the credit scene actually mattered. It's usually just like a little like Easter egg.
That's really generally what they are now, are Easter eggs or setups and things like that. So, like, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was setting up like something. I can't remember. Was it?
The rubble shook a little bit, but that's also the problem. Is like sometimes they're setups. Like it sounds like this one was a setup for something that's never going to happen because the movie bombed.
Yeah, but like in Multiverse of Madness, it was like somebody came through a portal. And then he was
Clea.
gonna
Right.
Yeah. And then you had Thunderbolts, which you haven't seen. At the very end, you see the Excelsior coming through a portal. Which is the Fantastic Four ship. And then at the end of Fantastic Four, you get a glimpse of what's gonna happen, like something about Doomsday. So like a lot of them are like, here's what's coming, or here's something's gonna connect, or whatever. Like And then, like, most credit scenes, most movies only. Oh no, Marvel movies tend to have 2, and it's usually mid and end, I believe. But like I said, I will look it up during. Like, I know a Marvel movie is gonna have a mid, and then I will look it up to see if it has an end. Like Guardians 3 had I believe this was the mid, was them showing off the new Guardians team. And then it had an end scene where it was Peter having breakfast with his grandfather. And that's when it says Peter Quill will return. Not the Guardians will return, just Peter Quill, or Star-Lord will return.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a credit scene, and it shows Evan Peters coming out of the or entering into the digital world, and he sees the destruction that happened from the nuke that they sent. And he grabs his data disk, and it looks different from everyone else's. And it's like basically a target, a bullseye on both sides. And he grabs it, and then it starts to put a Tron style like armor around him, and it had like some string. It made me think of some of the villains from Kingdom Hearts when you were in Tron and Kingdom Hearts. So I think it was like another like little hint to the past, to the previous movies or something, but like it looked very reminiscent. But I was hoping you might have known or would have seen it.
No, and honestly, it's been so long since I have seen any other Tron stuff. Like I'd probably be in the same boat as you, where it's like that looked familiar, but I couldn't place where.
Yeah.
I mean, when did Dream Drop Distance come out? 2012, I guess, 2013.
Why are we going to 3Ds?
So
Tron was in Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, I realize that, but I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 2 since 2004.
Okay.
I did not play them recently like you did. So I played.
I mean, recently. What was that? 6 years ago?
Didn't you play it when you played it when you were streaming, right? Or was that just before you were streaming?
No, it was before I was streaming. So at least 5 or 6 years ago.
But so Tron is in Dream Drop Distance, and that's the last.
Okay.
So that would be the last Kingdom Hearts thing I played, which would have also been the last Tron thing I saw. Because I saw Tron Legacy in the theaters.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Speaking of a while, probably time to move along. What's our next pick?
The only one I can find that is on a streaming thing that is at all interesting to me is Spinal Tap 2.
Right, you mentioned that last week, and I will say, like, I forgot they made a Spinal Tap 2. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I was hoping in the last 2 weeks, like Mad Max Fury Road
popped up on
something else, but it hasn't. So unless it happens on February 1st, which like it seems like things change monthly, but I haven't seen any talk about it going anywhere. So
Yeah, and it usually is like one of those like monthly things. All the stuff shuffles around and shows
Yeah.
back up places. It's funny because like I am almost positive Fury Road was on like HBO like in November.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Fucking streaming. Cool. All right. So yeah, 2 weeks we'll watch Spinal Tap 2. This is Spinal Tap 2 or just Spinal Tap 2?
I think it's just Spinal Tap 2.
All right.
I mean,
That's fine. People will figure it out.
Spinal Tap 2, the end continues.
Nice. Cool. And then I guess for things that took a really long time as well, Rich.
Yeah.
You finished Expedition 33.
I finally finished Expedition 33.
You beat the guy.
That's the thing. Simon wasn't even the final boss. That was just
but that was your hurdle. That was the thing that was.
That was the hurdle. And after about a 2-week break, I was able to finally beat him. So I had to do a little bit of grinding in order to gear up because I had talked about this before. Simon at phase 3 wipes your A team and forces you to use the B team.
Right.
And so I had to do a little bit of grinding to get enough chroma points or lumina so that I can get everyone to an equal level. So I did cheese it a bit. There is a side boss, a secret boss that you can go fight that summons allies. And if you're playing specifically as Verso, using a specific weapon, there is a little minor, little glitch with it where occasionally it will mark a kill as 2. And so if you just focus on killing the 2 summons and not killing the main enemy, you can stack up a lot of lumina. So I did that fight for about a half hour and was able to stock up 800 lumina. And I didn't use it all. I used about, I would say I used about 300, but that was to get my 2 B team characters to the same point as everyone else, and then get everyone up to 300. So I was like, I'm not going to use it all. I don't want to overpower myself. I just want to get everyone to the same point, and then I want to get everyone a little bit stronger so that I'm a little bit more prepared. And I still am sitting on about 400 or 500 lumina. So I was like, I don't want to make this too easy. And I didn't. I still, when I finally went back and attempted the fight, because I considered getting my characters to 900 or to level 99 beforehand, but that grind is so annoying that I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. Once everyone reaches 90, I'm gonna go for it. So I got everyone to 90, and I went for it, and it still took me another 3 hours of attempts.
That's
and
nuts.
each fight takes about each fight, including dying, would probably be anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. But yeah, it still took about 2 to 3 hours for me just to get back into the rhythm and relearn the parries and everything else. And then I finally got it, and I was so excited. My highest amount of damage I did at one point was 3.5 million damage in a single hit, or some shit like that. Or yeah, 3.5 million damage in a single hit. And that brought down maybe 30% of his health, or something like that, maybe less. I know it was definitely not 30%. It was more maybe 10% of his health or something. I don't really remember. But yeah, I finally beat Simon. I was so excited. I was like, great, Simon's done. Let's fucking go. Let's beat the game. And so I stopped the stream there. I came back to the stream the next day. I did everything else I could do to get the achievements, just because I only had 5 achievements left. So I did those other 3 that I could do, and then I beat the game, which is the 4th, and then the last one, which petition to all game devs. I'm going to petition this now. Stop fucking doing reach max level as an achievement.
That is a shitty achievement.
It's stupid. It sucks. And so currently I have it down to where I can get about 4 million experience every 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the run back. I think it's about 5 minutes. I can get about 4 million experience. To get from 97 to 98, you need 20 million experience.
Yeesh.
So that's going to take about
Jesus
20 minutes. And then so to get from 98 to 99 is probably going to be 21 million experience. So it's going to take about a half hour or over a half hour to get me 2 levels. It sucks. So like, yeah, petition all game devs, stop doing that. Stop. It is the worst achievement. I would much rather replay this game on New Game Plus than do this. Like, and that's the thing. You have a New Game Plus, but you don't have an achievement for New Game Plus. Which, if I were to just play New Game Plus, I would then get the experience that I need to get to 99, and I would much rather do that than have to sit here and grind. I didn't do the DLC.
Are you going to, or are you kind of like done with the game at this point?
Eventually. I'm going to take a break. Primarily, I want to play some of the other redemption games that I have on stream. Some of the games that have been gifted to me that I haven't played. I want to get ready for Resident Evil, and I'm going to play that. So it's like at the bottom of the list to eventually go back to the DLC, because it's one area and a couple of optional bosses is all that was added. So like I thought about doing the area and then maybe trying the optional bosses. I tried the optional bosses once, not realizing they were DLC, but it's just like I wasn't having it with these bosses. They're a pain in the ass. And one of them being Divergent Star Simon, which is like a harder version of Simon. So I don't know if I want to do that right now, but I will. However, the story of Expedition 33, without spoiling it because you're just getting into it, is incredible, is soul crushing, is emotional, and is just it's wonderful. It's such a wild ride to go through this game and see all of the twists and turns that come from it. And like, I want to know more. I want to learn more about the world because there's just so much more to learn. And like, Cobb, you haven't really even started playing it, right? You like kind of just got it.
Well, so I haven't restarted it yet at all. So I had played.
You're not even in
when it first came out. Yeah, like when it first came out, I played on the Xbox. So I actually have to restart it because I have it on Steam now.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you still have Gustav when you played.
Yeah.
So like the revelation leading into Act 3 and everything is just wild. And like some of the dialogue and scenes that happen throughout the game is just so incredible. And like, I'm going to say this knowing full well that you're not like a completionist or anything, but like there's a lot of incredible side content in this game. And I suggest anybody do it and give it an attempt. However, I urge everyone who has not played this game yet, when you get to Act 3, there is one enemy you should fight, specifically one boss you should specifically fight. They're on the overworld. I can't remember its name. I think it's like Sprague or something like that. You can encounter it earlier. However, you're not going to be able to fight it until after you're not going to be able to beat it unless you're incredibly good until you get to Act 3. One boss you should fight and learn its Picto. And then after that, go to the end of the game. Don't do everything else. Don't reach above, I would say, level 70. I one-shotted the final boss. All phases. Each phase. I one-shotted them. And like, that was a lot of people's complaints about the end of the game. It's like, you make these incredible bosses, but the final boss we one-shotted. And like, I was set up. The first three players, first three characters to act were my characters. And the item I'm telling you to get is a Picto that lets you, gives you the cheater Picto, which gives you 2 turns in a row. So I had 6 turns, and I was able to, like, my first 2 turns with Lune were setup turns to use certain abilities. And then Mayel did her one setup attack, and then her basic attack, which one-shotted it afterwards. And then Verso, setup attack, and then one-shotted the second round. Like, it didn't get a turn. It didn't attack. It didn't hurt me. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. I'm bummed out about that. Like, I wish I could have experienced this fight, because I'm sure it would have been an incredible fight that I didn't get to experience. So I urge anyone who has not played Expedition 33 yet, do not overpower yourself before going to the final boss. Do not do everything before going to the final boss. You can go back into the game after you beat the final boss. The game, technically, it's just them saving you before the final boss, but like, to be honest, once you defeat the final boss, you can't actually fight it again. So like, depending on the game, the story you choose to end it with, technically you're still living there. But
yeah, I feel like from the sound of it, it sounds like it kind of hit a similar thing to what's that fucking game? The Dragon Age game from like a decade ago.
Yeah,
Inquisition, where the beginning of the game, one of the early areas, there's so much to do that people that are completionists did all of it. And then by the time they moved on, they were over leveled the rest of the game. Like there was no challenge going on. Sounds like that's similar. There's so much side stuff to do, and some of the bosses are so hard that by the time you do get back onto like the story track, there's a chance that you're just overpowered for the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like when it comes to like open games like Dragon Quest or Dragon Age, like it is a problem because like I have that problem in pretty much every open game. If there is a spot marked on the map, I'm going to that spot. And so I always get a little overpowered before the midpoint of the game to where a lot of the story stuff is just streamlined through. And I've started to like play games where I'm like, I'm just going to push story for like halfway through the story before I do stuff. But like, I still get sidetracked. I still go from here to there. And like, I like that they're not making worlds where they get stronger as you get stronger. Because that's not how it should be. You get stronger, things stay the same level of difficulty. But at some point or another, if you're going to make like such hard bosses be bonus content, and like you know there are going to be people that are going to go after those bosses, that you have to like, if I had known, I probably would have set up like a challenge rating to increase the enemy's health or something. Because you can do that. In Act 3, you can make enemies stronger and have more health and stuff. Had I known the final boss is going to be that easy, I would have done that so I could have experienced it more. But yeah, like that, like there are 2 endings to the game, and the ending you choose is right at the end of the game. After you beat the final boss, you then basically get to choose your ending. It's not like whatever you did throughout the game. It's like you make a decision. Basically, after hearing all sides out, you make a decision. Which side are you siding with? Luckily, the game saves right before you make that decision. And so I watched both. And there's one that like I kind of agree with both, but like I disagree to the effect of one of them, and I definitely think the other one was like the lesser, like was more of the bad ending. Like I agree with the idea of one, but I don't agree with the outcome in a sense. Like I feel like okay, that makes someone probably more like a villain.
Yeah. I know a little bit, like I've heard things about the ending just from like listening to podcasts, and like I can understand that from like what I do know of it.
Yeah, and it's like I can't really say more without spoiling it, and since you're going to be playing it shortly or at some point, like there is a whole nother section of the game that I have not even like I don't know if you know about that I can't open up about because that's going to be a major spoiler. And like there's just so much about this world that I want to know. So yeah, it's such a good game. I totally understand how it got Game of the Year. Like the music, everything is incredible. I'm probably gonna do like a little bit more of an in-depth talk about for this week's vlog on YouTube about the game and about my feelings about it. I did do a little bit once I beat it, and I did post a little bit on Discord, in my spoilers chat about it. But I marked it spoiler, so people who don't want to actually see, even though they see the chat, can avoid from reading it. But it's just, it's such... Everyone needs to experience this game. Like, Drew, you need to experience this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on my list of things I should play.
It should be number one. It 100% should be number one. I have told people who, like, aren't big gamers, but they do enjoy the Persona games, I'm like, you are going to love this game. And, like, you can... If the combat there is a story mode, you can lower the difficulty if you just want to experience a story. Like the story itself is top tier, like some of the best story I've seen in gaming in such a long time. That like it's so good.
I mean, there's a reason it got as many awards as it did.
Yeah, 9 out of 9 out of 12 awards or some shit like that at the Game Awards, I think. Something like that.
That sounds right. Like, it basically swept the Game Awards and also got awards from a bunch of other places.
Yeah. Although the Golden Joysticks took its awards away because there was controversy about AI, which I'm still or AI generative AI use in generative AI art, which I'm still a little dubious about, and I'm not happy about the fact that they used it. But it is entirely possible that they didn't realize it was generative AI art when they used it, because they might have just purchased an asset from the store that wasn't marked as generative AI. However, I don't know. I'm not trying to defend them. I don't like that they used it. Besides that, and it was just one piece of art, but yes, who knows how many other pieces of art they could have used that were they were placeholder art. But I don't know. In game design, you could just make a box that says placeholder art and fucking put it there, and that's more obvious than art that looks like similar art that you want to actually use. So I don't know. It's up in the air. What are they? Sandfall, right? I think that's what they're called. Sandfall.
Yeah.
You reach out and let us know. Like, let's talk, because they're obviously not going to reach out. But like, I would love to know more about that whole art situation. But it's still, besides that, it's such an incredible game.
Nice.
Look, at least they're not using Gen AI for voiceover like some other games are, like fucking Arc Raiders, or what is it? Amazon using Gen AI to write up its recap from season 1 of Fallout, which is like, why not just have one of your writers write up the recap? You've got writers for this fucking show. Just have them write it up and post it on the internet. Why are you going to use Gen AI to do this? Fuck you, Amazon.
I mean, that's Amazon, right?
Everyone's using Gen AI. I'm getting so annoyed from my boss telling me, "Oh, you should start using Copilot when you're writing emails." No, I'm not using AI to write my fucking email.
I mean, you could.
But why? Why? Like,
why not?
Because what she's telling me to do is write my email and then use Copilot to make it look more professional, or to bullet point it, or something, some shit like that. And I'm like, here's my points, make this seem more concise or something. It's like, no, I'm not, like, if it's because no one's going to read the email if it's too long, well, then they shouldn't be fucking working here if they're not going to read the fucking email. It's that simple. Like, here's everything that I found out about it. I shouldn't need to bullet point anything. Here's my paragraph about this loan. Somebody else needs to fix it. It's just, people are relying too much on AI, and it drives me nuts.
I mean, yes, like in a lot of things, like there are uses for it, and then there is the way the world uses it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But how about we talk about board games?
Yeah, let's talk about board games.
So as you said at the top, a couple weeks ago, we played a couple games. The first one we did was Reavers of Midgard.
Yes.
Which
is interesting. It's an engine builder, like points collection type of conquest game, I guess you could call it. I don't have like the Board Game Geek information up on it. This is just what I remember about it. But it was really cool. Like, you're friggin' Vikings, right? And you're conquesting Midgard. You're
recruit, battle, and raid to become the most glorious Viking clan.
Yeah. And so you just each round, it's an interesting take on certain board games, because everybody's turn, or each round, consists of each person taking a turn selecting a thing to do, and then every player after them also doing that said thing by paying the production cost to do it, and then reaping the rewards. However, player 1 who selects the thing gets more rewards than player 2, and player 2 gets more than player 3, and player 3 and 4 generally get about the same. But if, player 1
is usually none.
Well, I mean, they still gets it's just bonus.
Everyone gets the base thing, but there's no bonus for like 3 and 4 generally.
Yeah. However, and this is an interesting take on it. Like, I feel like what it should have been is so the way the game worked is, if player 1 did something, player 2 decided not to do it, player 3 could decide to do it, but they only get the benefits of being player 3, not by being the second person to do it. And then player 4 only gets the benefits of being player 4, not the benefits of or the third person to do it. I feel like maybe it should have went around to where the second person who did it gets the second bonus, third person who doesn't gets the third bonus, and the fourth person gets the fourth bonus.
I don't know. I actually kind of liked it this way, because it did make it like you could be a little more strategic if you were trying to like ensure that you were the the kind of the winner in it. Because like you could like at the end of the game, like there was a chance that like if Erica hadn't picked to do I think a sea battle, you also I don't think had the resources to do a sea battle, right?
No. So at the end of the game, if I had decided to partake in one thing in yeah. So if I had decided to partake in what you chose to do, which is raiding a castle, I would have gotten 15 points. However, I wouldn't have had the resources to potentially do the sea battle if Erica did the sea battle.
Right.
But if Erica didn't do the sea battle, I would have gotten the resources for skipping, and then I could have done the sea battle, which is also why I was trying to push Erica to not do the sea battle, because I was going to do it no matter what. But it was that but like that's whether I was in that instance I was third player and I would have gotten no benefit from or there was no bonus for me to do it, but if Erica decided to skip over, I wouldn't have gotten the second person bonus, I would have gotten the third person bonus. And like there's no real strategy to like I don't what am I trying to say?
Well, so the strategy there would be if I choose to do like the sea battle, for instance, because I if I remember correctly, the sea battle was one of the higher costs ones to do.
It was a little bit more, yeah.
So I choose to do the sea battle because I have the resources to do it. But I choose to do that one because I noticed that the person after me doesn't have the resources to do it, which means they're not getting any bonuses from it. And then even though you have the resources, you're only getting the base.
Yeah, I'm only getting the third. I don't know. I like the idea of it being like first player who does it, second player who does it, third player, fourth player, and not first person, second person. First player gets it, second player does or doesn't, third player does or doesn't, fourth does or doesn't. I would much rather the reward be the second player who does it and not the second player in general. Look, I get it. Board games are hard to really discuss when you don't have the board and the instructions in front of you.
But at the same time, like I understand what you're saying. Like I don't agree. Like I liked it the way it was, but I understand like your thought on it.
Yeah, like to me, it would have made more sense that like I'm the second person to do the thing, I should get the second reward, and like that is more in where the strategy would come to play. Is like if I don't do this, then somebody else is going to get a better reward. That's the strategy. Like, should I do this to prevent them from getting the better reward? Or should I not do this and allow somebody to get the better reward? Because I think potentially the better reward could have given me the win as well. I don't fully remember, but like yeah, it's just that give and take, that figuring out what to do and what's the best strategy. It is a really fun strategy game. It takes a while to play.
Yeah, and so what we ended up doing was you're supposed to play 6 rounds. Mm-hmm. So with a 4-person group, that's everybody going around doing like picking their thing. What is it? 5 times because the player 1 goes twice per round. So like each round is broken up into 5 turns, and then you're supposed to do 6 rounds. We ended up playing to 4 rounds because that made a little bit more sense. This way, everybody got to be like the first player of the round.
Yeah.
Because like doing 6 is a lot, and I want to say it probably took about 2 hours to do those 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Which like wasn't bad for how like everything that was going on in the game, and like the game did move pretty quickly. Like we kind of got the hang of how it plays easily enough. There's just a lot of moving pieces every round because you have there's like 8 different potential things you can do, or 6. There's 6 because we usually had 2 left over.
Yeah.
So there's 6 potential things you can do from, like we said,
it would be
raiding villages.
If there were 2 things and there was 5
turns. Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. So 7. Yeah, raiding villages, raiding castles, trading. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do. And each person, like the first player for the turn, picks one of those 7 things, and once it's picked, it can't be picked again. So when it's your round to go first, you kind of have the full pick of the board and get to decide almost like what the structure is going to look like. So I think all of us may have done the recruit first every first round. because you do the recruit doesn't cost anything, and it gets you essentially resources because people in the game are resources. And then from there, like we were able to go do all the other stuff, whether it was battles or trading, or I did the castle one a lot. Like that was how I got all the points I ended up with. Was I kept raiding castles and then doing like the extra raiding part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it had a lot of cool kind of moving parts and bits and pieces to it.
Yeah, it had a lot of fun mechanics, and to counter argue the time and length, like we were learning the game for the first time, and I believe that might have been Matt's only like second or third time ever actually playing
First
it.
time
So
he's ever
like
played it.
it was first time, so he was learning it as we were. So it was just taking we had to do a lot of roll checks, but you're right, once we got into it, like I feel like even though there were 2 turns left, we probably could have gotten it done within a half hour to 45 minutes with those last 2 turns. But like the problem is, since it's everyone's taking an action each turn and clearing the board, between every round you have to reset the board, and that's what kind of slows down the gameplay is having to reset the board each round, which it's not hard, but it's still like, all right, now we have to put this here, we have to put that there, we have to put these tokens there, and this and that and blah blah blah. But yeah, it was a really cool game. It was really fun. I would definitely play it again. But just like on a day where we have a longer game session, like if we were to meet for like a 3 to 10 session, or like a noon to question mark session, so this way we can play this, get a full match in, and then maybe play something else after, or just even take our time with this and not feel like we have to rush it.
So, like, even with that, like, I think this game doesn't. I don't think you should play this game for more than like the number of rounds that you have players.
No, I feel like I said, that was our first time playing. It was his first time playing. 6 rounds the next time we play will go a lot faster than the 4 rounds it took us to play this time.
I mean, yes, it'll go faster, but like I think 6 rounds is just too much. It's too much of doing the same thing. Like, especially when you only have 4 players.
Yeah.
4 rounds seems like the sweet spot for that.
Probably. Like I wonder. No, I don't know. I'm now thinking maybe like, because that round tracker went more than 6. If I remember correctly, that round tracker went more than 6. So I'm wondering if like maybe why there was more than 6 rounds if it went more than 6. If it was only 6 and we were playing maximum number of players.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I don't remember if it did or not. You were sitting next to Matt, so you had a better view of it. But yeah, so that was Reavers of Midgard, and then after that, we played a game that I had gotten for Erica actually for Christmas called Horrified American Monsters, which is a spin-off of the existing game Horrified, which is like Universal Monsters. So it's like the original is like Dracula, the Mummy, like Creature from the Black Lagoon, all those like classic movie monsters.
Mm-hmm.
This one is all American-based like cryptids. So the Jersey Devil's one of them, Bigfoot, a Banshee I had never heard of before, the Chupacabra. Who else was on there? Mothman, and I think there was one other one.
Did you say Bigfoot?
I did say Bigfoot.
Okay,
and
I was listening. I just couldn't remember if you did.
Yeah, and the whole idea is you are like a paranormal cryptid investigator, and this town in middle of nowhere, America, has this influx where all these different cryptids are showing up and terrorizing the town for different reasons. And you're dispatched to try and figure out why and to contain them. And I think like one cool thing that the rules actually specify for this is you're not supposed to pick a character. You're just supposed to randomly draw one. So there's like 8 different investigators that you can be. You're basically just supposed to shuffle up the deck of those cards and just give each player one at random. Sometimes you get a cool one with like a good ability. Sometimes you get one that has no ability at all. It's all just luck of the draw. And it makes it a little bit more challenging because you don't know what you're getting into until you get your character.
Yeah, I had the character that didn't have an ability. However, I had 5 actions instead of 4, which most characters only had 4, or like 5 movements or whatever it was.
It was action based.
Action based. Yeah, so 5 actions.
Yeah, and so it wasn't all that mechanically. A lot of the stuff in there, like it, very standard, like action based
Yeah.
things where you have X amount of actions to do on each turn, and that includes moving your character, interacting with things, moving other NPCs and stuff like that, or performing different tasks on the board, like trading, picking up items, that sort of thing.
Yeah, very, very, and I say this about a lot, kind of, like, especially games like this, and I even said it a little bit about Aether Spire when I played it last week, talked about it last week, kind of similar, reminiscent to, like, a pandemic-style game, where you have actions, you can do those actions, and then at the end of your turn, you see how like, things can outbreak, in a sense, and then you have to react to that with the next turn. And there's a lot of blind drawing and there's card drawing and then blind bag drawing. So it's got some like cool concepts, and it is like sort of like pandemic-esque.
Yeah, so I actually thought it felt a little bit similar to Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. Because obviously like Jurassic Park Isla Nublar also had like the same action economy. But like on top of that, you had, you know, the cryptids, like, were basically the dinosaurs, and the way that the turn order went was very similar to Jurassic Park. So
I lean more towards Pandemic than Jurassic Park because Jurassic Park was round based, whereas this game was turn based.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's got similarities to both of them.
Yeah, Jurassic Park had every player had every character had 2 actions, plus there were 2 group actions. You take all your actions at once, and then the dinosaurs move. Whereas in this game, each player has their set number of actions. The player takes their actions, and then the villains move, and then the next player goes. So that's why it's like more similar to Pandemic than it was to Jurassic Park to me.
Yeah, which is fair, and like, yes, like some of that stuff, like, I see what you're saying. I think just like the way the board was kind of set up, the way like movement and stuff worked, it reminded me more of Jurassic Park, even like with the NPCs, like as you're playing, the game is giving you NPCs and going, oh, you have to move them to like the locations that they want to be in, or get them out of harm's way. And if one of the cryptids sees them, they're going to attack them. But if you're in the same spot as them, they'll actually attack you instead.
Yeah.
That was very similar to Jurassic Park. And even the, you know, the way that the cryptids, like movement and actions worked was also similar to Jurassic Park. So like, you know, it had DNA from both.
Yeah.
But it was cool because like every cryptid has some set of requirements to defeat them. And we played what the game recommends for like your first time, which was the Banshee of the Badlands and the Chupacabra. And Chupacabra was easy. You just had to get goats to feed it. And then once you had the goats, you could contain it. The Banshee was a little bit harder, but like not too much. It had to do with it had like a music component to it, and I forget exactly how that one worked. But each of us had basically like a violin piece on like its board of sheet music, and every time that it got to do something, those pieces would move forward, and if they moved all the way to the end, like our characters died, and then they go to the they just go to the hospital. Like you get to reuse the character, but then it moves the dial on the game up. So if it reaches the end of the track, it's game over. The monsters win. But yeah, so some of the other ones though get a little bit more like inventive. So the Jersey Devil, which is ranked as one of the harder monsters to contain, because the legend with the Jersey Devil is it's the 13th child of the family. There are 13 NPC characters in this game that randomly get drawn onto the board. When you're playing with the Jersey Devil, one of those 13 characters is the Jersey Devil. And there are like clue pieces basically that get mixed into the game that you have to use almost in like it almost sounds like a mixture of Guess Who and Clue, where you're trying to like figure out with these clue pieces which one of the townspeople are the Jersey Devil. And once you figure that out, you can then go confront the Jersey Devil to like get rid of it. But like, because every player has their turn, and then as part of their turn, the cryptids also have a turn, and like the acting player does their turn as well, and their turns generally have movement and attacks. So it's real hard to not end up in the path of one of these things, or not have one of the NPCs end up in the path, where you're constantly kind of juggling that stuff, and sometimes you're just kind of you're taking the hit, just so like an NPC doesn't get knocked off the board. But overall, like I thought that game was fun.
Yeah.
I think I think some of the other monsters may have been a little bit more fun because those two were pretty basic.
Yeah, I would say like that's the one thing I wasn't really too thrilled about, was like it felt, even though we I think we were like halfway to dying, halfway to losing, like the win condition for the game, it felt a little anticlimactic. We kind of just had it at the end. Like it was like once we defeated one, we had it for the other one. And so like there wasn't, like, it didn't feel like too mystery-y, and it was like the game did feel a little too easy. But again, we were using the like learn to play mode.
Yeah.
And like that's also why this game is such a, what's the best way to, it's I want to call it a franchise game, because but like it uses so many IPs, because you were talking about the monster movie one, there's this one, there's a D&D version, there's, I'm sure, a Disney version, I think. Like there's so many versions of it, because it is kind of just easy to just face swap everything in this game. And it's popular. It's a big popular game. A lot of people play it. It's a good game. It's just, I do feel like it was a little too easy.
Yeah, and that's why I think the other four monsters probably do make it more challenging. And so for what it's worth, I forgot. This game was done by the same developer that did Jurassic Park. Which is probably why I see a lot of the similarities there.
Yeah, but makes sense.
Yeah, I had fun with the game. I definitely think it's worth checking out, and I'm sure the other versions play the same. So like, if you're not into the American monsters, like, get the Universal Monsters one. It is probably also kind of cool.
Yeah, I would say most likely every version plays exactly the same, with the exception of different abilities. And like, yeah, the abilities, like, it's the villain abilities and the character abilities are probably like the only difference. Like it's primarily a face swap for each version.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you, actually, in the instruction manual, it's just the same rules, and they just like find and replace the words, because they missed one. So in this version of the game, you are an investigator, because you're paranormal investigator person. So in the instructions, it's all investigator round, investigator this, investigator that. There is one section where it says hero, which hero is what they use in the other monster version. So somebody just missed one when they were doing find and replace. But yeah, anything else you want to say about either game, Rich?
No. I thought they were both good.
Cool. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but you're getting a little staticky.
I don't know what to tell you.
Drew, are you hearing it at all?
No.
Okay, so it's probably just me then. So never mind. You're fine. But so last thing we have is I started watching To Be Hero X, which is from what I've seen online, it is a co-production between China and Japan anime, like, media franchise sort of thing. There are a few other iterations of it too. Like To Be Hero X isn't the first one. But it seems like it is both the newest and kind of the preferred one. And it's an anthology series for the most part. So it's 24 episodes, and it all takes place kind of in the same world in a similar time frame. And in this world, similar to like My Hero Academia, the world is populated with heroes. In this case, though, it's not like weird quirks that people like are born with. 36 years prior, there was some sort of commission created, and people become heroes based on the belief that they are a hero from their fan. So the easiest example of this is in the kind of second character arc. There's the character that we follow. He's essentially like an actor for like a hero. Like he does like kids parties and shit like that, dressed up as another popular hero. And at one point in it, this kid gets kidnapped, and he tries to save the kid, and he's just getting his ass handed to him. But like a bunch of people are standing around like recording him for like social media, and he's in the hero, like his version of the hero suit. And the kid like calls him the hero, which gives him like 1 ounce of trust, which gives him the same powers as the hero he's dressed up as.
Okay.
And like from that point on, like he starts gaining more and more like trust and influence from like society. So he actually starts to overtake the original version of the hero, who's like one of the original heroes that like showed up, I guess. They haven't really given us a lot of like the backstory on how all this works. They don't really even like tell you flat out that that's how it works. You kind of have to infer it as you're going so far. But it gets to the point where like he is actually more popular than the real hero, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's kind of how the powers work. And along with that, corporations basically like sponsor people to be heroes. And in some cases, it seems like they're also sponsoring people to be villains. One of the heroes that you meet, him and his best friend wanted to both become heroes, but the best friend instead basically gets cast as his like arch nemesis. And you find out that like the same corporation is kind of behind both of them. And they pay for like ad campaigns and all this stuff for them. And they're the ones sort of monitoring their popularity and making sure that they don't do something that would go against what their fans want, because that will cause them to start to lose their credibility and thus lose their powers. So like it's kind of a weird setup. And the first episode, like Erica and I were watching it, and like the art style is a little weird, and we're both just like, I don't know how we feel about this. And then the episode ends, and it ends on like just enough of a cliffhanger where we're like, well, we have to see how it plays out. And so we watch another one, and then we watch another one, and then we watch another one. And then like we've watched like the whole arc for that like first character. And we're like, okay, well, like we'll stop here. And then the next day it's like, do you want to watch like the next like character, see if it's like worth following? And it was kind of like the same thing. It's like, okay, this is interesting. And then it ends on like kind of like a sad cliffhanger. And we're like, all right, well, we got to see how it goes. And 4 or 5 episodes later, we've watched that arc, and we're like, all right, I guess we're gonna keep watching this. Like every time it seems like, okay, well, maybe this one's not as interesting, and we'll drop it. It's like, no, this show keeps you kind of tuned in, even if there's things about it that just seem a little off. And I do know just from hearing about this, at some point there's an episode where the hero is a dog, and the dog became like sentient and can talk and everything like that. And it only wants to be a hero to make its owner, a little boy, happy.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, in English, that dog is voiced by Christopher Sabat.
Okay. Of course. Of course. If it's an anime, it has to have Christopher Sabat in it at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Surprisingly, like so far, there have been some voices I've recognized, but none. Like he's probably the biggest one that I think I saw on there. The next biggest one is one of the side characters from the second story arc, not the main hero, was voiced by the same guy who voices Senku in Dr. Stone, like the main character of Dr. Stone. And that voice actor has been in a bunch of other stuff too. I'm drawing a blank on what his name is. But like a lot of the other ones seem like either they don't have Wikipedia pages at all, or they're just not like jumping out as super recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. And Rich, like I think it's actually a show that you'd probably enjoy, especially because they are like smaller arcs where like you can follow it without like, you don't have to feel compelled to binge it. You can watch like 3 or 4 episodes and get like the story arc and then come back again later.
Oh, you know me. If I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna binge it.
You are, but I know sometimes you talk like you get overwhelmed when there's too many episodes and you feel like you don't have the time to watch all of it all at once.
False. One Piece overwhelms me because there's over 2,000 episodes or some shit like that, or 1,500 episodes. That overwhelms me. Everything else, if you give me a show under 1,000 episodes or under 500 episodes, I'm absolutely fine to watch it. Like I don't get like it's One Piece. One Piece is the only one.
Well, To Be Hero X, and make sure it has the X in it, is 24 episodes. So you got this.
Yeah, that'll be a day. Like I'll watch it all in a day.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really good. It does some interesting stuff with the art style. Like so far a lot of like the main art almost looks like something out of a video game. Like it's a little cell shaded. It's like 3D. Um, it's very video gamey, and not in a bad way, but just like feels like a video game. But then like during certain segments, they'll like change up the art style. So like during big fights, it goes more traditional like anime style, and a lot of those fights end up looking really cool for it because they put the effort in. And apparently like later on, some of the actual like art style does change up a little bit. I know there's been a few times where they'll be doing like flashbacks and they'll make it feel very much like an old timey like vignette sort of thing where like everything gets a little sepia toned. It's got the like the film grain and stuff on it. So like they're doing some cool stuff with just like the presentation of it as well. And then the last thing worth noting is so the reason it's called To Be Hero X is the number one ranked hero, and much like My Hero Academia, heroes are ranked. So you've got it's the top 10 heroes are like kind of like the ones that everyone keeps like vying for, with X being number one. And then there's up to at least like I think 268 ranked heroes. Because in the first episode, a guy shows up and introduces himself as like 200 and something. So the ranks are kind of all over the place. It seems like the show is really focusing on like the top 15, let's say. So I don't think there's really been a hero that was any higher than that when they're like by the time they are a hero. And in a bunch of cases, some of them are actually like moving up. So like the first hero you follow, I want to say he was 15, and like by the end he's like moved up a rank or two.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of that movement going on, and a lot of that is like pushed by these corporations that own them because they want their heroes to be higher ranked for like I guess better deals and more merchandising and all that shit. And they also do once you hit a certain rank, you are forced to move into Hero Tower, which is this weird floating tower in the sky. And just the higher your rank, the higher in the tower you live. So you get like a larger penthouse and like a better view, which seems silly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a fun show so far, and I'm definitely enjoying it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's all I got about 2B Hero X.
Yeah,
it's on Crunchyroll.
Sounds good. Yeah, I need to get Crunchyroll because I want to watch Chainsaw Man movie.
So I thank you for reminding me because I meant to look that up because I thought the movie was called something different, and I saw a movie on there and it wasn't called what I thought it was, so I wanted to make sure it was what I thought it was.
It's Chainsaw Man the movie.
Crunchyroll has something different, but it's movie length. That's why I was confused.
What does Crunchyroll have?
Hang on, I'm opening the app. I searched Crunchyroll in the Crunchyroll app.
The website says Chainsaw Man the movie Reze arc.
So I wonder if this is just something different then. Oh, I hate the way Crunchyroll sorts things. So if you look at the Chainsaw Man like series section, there's the original 12 episodes like under seasons. There's a compilation that's like a 2-episode compilation, but then there's something called Chainsaw Man the stage that is almost 3 hours, and I'm not sure what that is because it also doesn't have like on my phone the picture's small and there's no thing for it. There's no like description under it or anything. But now I see like when I didn't search Chainsaw Man the other day. It's just in my watch list. But I see that it's a separate entry for the movie.
I don't even I'm looking on their website on my phone and I just searched Chainsaw Man this stage, see nothing.
So that's because it's a season under the main show. You actually have to search the show, go into it, and then look at seasons. Because Crunchyroll, real bad interface.
That looks like a live action stage play.
Oh, and you know what? That makes sense with it being called The Stage.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a live because they did it with Bleach. They do it with everything. They did it with Naruto.
Yeah, I've always hated the fucking Crunchyroll app because like you're on the website, so if you look at like episodes, it's gonna tell you what episodes are subbed and dubbed, so you can tell like when a new show is coming out, you can tell where it's at in the dub if that's what you want to watch. On the app, it doesn't tell you. It only tells you at the series level if the series has both dub and sub. But if you're watching like My Hero as it's releasing and it's a couple weeks behind, you just don't know what episode they're up to. You have to go to the website to figure it out.
Yeah,
or just play episodes and see how it plays.
It's a live action stage play from 2023.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. That's what Google's.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the little thumbnail on the thing does not really help with that. Cool. But yeah, that's all I have. So that's probably a show.
Yeah, sounds like a show.
Nice. Cool. Because I also have to go take a shower.
Gross.
No, that's the whole idea. I want to be not gross.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying gross, because you didn't shower.
But yeah, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. Those things all help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our blue sky is one-quest.com. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what does your streaming look like?
Twitch.tv/b_walnuts for video game streaming, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We'll be starting Tomb Raider. If I can get a group together, we'll be playing RV there yet. Sea of Thieves, Date Everything, just like whatever we can get into, because we no longer have a super long RPG to play. So like trying to just clear some of the log of games that we've been playing, and some of the what's it called? Some of the redemption games we have, as well as some of the gifted games that we've gotten over the past year or so that I still have not played. So yeah, just whatever we can get into until Resident Evil. I might redo Resident Evil 8 at some point, or Resident Evil 8 Village. I might replay that. I might not, because I don't think you really need to for 9, but we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot there was a new Resident Evil coming.
Yep, it comes out and on the 28th, which is a year after Monster Hunter came out.
Nice. Good on Capcom.
That is just their release date now, is the end of February.
Well, with all that said, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.